All right, guys, welcome. It's been a little while though, not as long as I would have initially thought. I I just like really want to get back into doing these type of things, because making videos, editing videos, talking about things, talking to you guys, it's something that I really enjoy. It's something that I really love, and I'm just very engaged and passionate about. But obviously a lot of those feelings sort of subsided and diminished for obvious reasons, as I talked about in this channel. But I figured, I'm really starting to feel the drive again to get back in the saddle and make videos again. And I figured, this is something that's going to take a really long time to talk through and get through. So why should I let it interfere with my passion and my joy of making videos? I would rather do that as opposed to having to step aside for a really long time, or give up on it as something that I don't want to do. So I figured, you know what, fuck it. I'm really in the mood right now, and I just want to do something simple that I've done a few times, and that's just talk about albums that I've acquired since the last video that I did of this, which was 6 months ago. I don't remember how long. So yeah, some of it. So we're same old, continuing on with discographies of bands or artists that I've already built up. Some of which I've now completed, but others brand spanking new. So I figured I would just go through the CDs and then the albums, though they do have a couple of CDs with the vinyls just because they correlate with the artist itself. But the first one I got, boom, Poppy's new album, Negative Spaces, absolutely freaking kick ass. She continues to really deliver on her various crafts of just an absolute melting pot of genres. You want the rock, you got the rock. You want the metal, you got the metal. Anywhere from like pop to shoegaze, grunge, alternative, rock, metal. Like I said earlier, she's absolutely killing it. I was able to see her on this tour that she's doing, the first date of that tour, so that was really cool at the Fillmore in San Francisco. But yeah, definitely more of a rock, metal, thrash route on this album, though you do get some killer puppy shoegaze stuff on here as well. But kind of like a return, if you will, to like albums like I Disagree. So I absolutely love this album. All right, this one kind of out of the box, out of left field. It's a Japanese album, city pop, called Timely by Henri. Like 95% of the album, I don't know what she's saying. And the other 5% is when they do say English words. But man, I found out about this months ago, because I'm really into like the lo-fi hip hop and stuff like that, to where it's very nice mellow music. But then it kind of transitions into other things like city pop. And like Japanese 1980s city pop, like that's the freaking shit right there. A lot of 80s music here, then when I listen to it, I'm like, oh god, that's fucking rough. But this stuff, it has an interesting quality where it makes you, I don't know what the word would be, reminisce, if I'm using that right, about a nostalgia that you never had. So if you listen to this album, Timely, and you're somebody like me who's like born in 2001, it's going to make you feel like you were in the 80s, and like you're just reliving that time and love it. It's a very interesting experience. But yeah, totally awesome. I really do dig that record. Okay, this one is a band called Present, and their album is, I don't want to blow it, Silver Lining. Local Bay Area band. I really dig them. It's rock meets like shoegaze, dreamscape, that type of thing. So yeah, Present, the band, I really do like this album. And I completed her discography, Avril Lavigne, with her album from a few years ago called Love Sucks, because I know, like, I got to Head Above Water, and I just needed this album, but I don't know what it is, man. Like, sometimes I'm kind of like, you know, that's enough for one artist. Let me go into other, you know, bands and stuff to build up a discography or, like, establish, you know, from the groundwork up. Even though I'm like 98% there from finishing, you know, a discography. So it took me a while, but I finally got it. Yeah, like I said, so some months ago. I think it's good. I think it's good. Though I will say, I think I talked about the previous album of hers, Head Above Water, when I did the last video of this, to where I thought it was fine. You know, I take that back. After listening to it more and more throughout time, I really do enjoy that album. But yeah, this one, you know, Love Sucks. It's okay. I think there's a bit too many guest musicians, but songs like Cannonball, Deja Vu, that's great. Avalanche. So, you know, there's some good songs on here. Kind of like, I don't know, sort of like trying to recapture old glory days, I think. So, you know, it's about what you would expect, I guess. All right. Actually. All right. So this is the beginning of just like a bulk of like an artist. So we have here, sorry about that, completely whiffed on that. Cyndi Lauper really got into her last year. I was able to see her on her farewell tour. She was absolutely phenomenal. Because on the last video I did, I had in terms of records, you know, her first 2 albums, I think, and now I got like a boatload more, as you can see. So her 3rd album, A Night to Remember. I know that this album, tanked. It's not her favorite. She calls it A Night to Forget. Sort of interesting, like behind the scenes politics, if you will, when it comes to these subsequent albums. I don't know. Sounds like maybe some sabotage going on in terms of records, but you know, I do really enjoy this album. Perhaps not the best in terms of the first 3, but I also got it in vinyl as well, so very cool. But I mean, I do think there's some really good songs on here. Like I said, I like it. I Drove All Night, Primitive, you know, it's kind of stupid, but it's also pretty cool. Dancing with a Stranger, even the title track itself. I think there's some good stuff on here. But then you get to, I suppose you would call it like her true self or true music, starting with Hatful of Stars. Man, just like absolutely heartfelt, like serious, intrinsic tracks going on here. You really, really do get a feel for who she is as a person, life experiences, thoughts, emotions. You know, if you want something like serious compared to the previous 3 albums, Hatful of Stars, it's quite excellent in my opinion. But my favorite album of hers has to be the other one, the next one, Sisters of Avalon. This is just absolutely kick-ass. Like, her voice is so incredible on here. Because, like I said, Come a Night to Remember, I think this is like a Cyndi Lauper album review now. But, you know, Come a Night to Remember, you know, like I said, it tanked, and it seems like she was kind of cast aside maybe for like some younger upcoming talent. So come Hatful of Stars onward, she's kind of like, well, fuck it, I'm just going to make the music that I want to make. And this is where you get some incredible albums like this, Sisters of Avalon. This album just kicks ass. Rock. Her voice is incredible. Just absolutely terrific stuff on this album. I can't overestimate it, because there is no overestimation when it comes to that album. And then for this one, it's a covers album At Last. You get songs like Walk On By, Making Whoopee, You Really Got a Hold On Me. So a lot of cover songs, but the song Stay, and I believe Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, yeah, that one's like freaking haunting, goosebumps. I would like to get Shine. That one's kind of weird because it was like those early 2000s days where like an artist or a band has an album, somebody finds out, goes to the internet via like bootleg, and then you kind of downloading it. So it's like, well, fuck, we might as well put it out now to like make some sort of money, right? Because like The Shine, it's like an EP, 4 or 5 songs, but then Japan got like the full spanking, complete album, but that one's like $50 on eBay, so I have to wait until birthday for gift cards. So there you go for Cyndi Lauper. And then the next bulk for an artist is Madonna. I showed off in the last video like a Virgin and True Blue albums. I do have Like a Prayer. I had that before as well, still do. But these ones right here, Ray of Light, absolutely incredible. Then you get some interesting albums like Music. I wouldn't call it country per se, even though she's dressed up like country. Lots of electronica, hip, that type of stuff. And then Confessions on a Dance Floor, absolutely killer pop stuff. So, like I said previously, perhaps not somebody I would invite for Thanksgiving. She's an interesting character, but I'm just here for the music, and for the most part, her discography works pretty well. Though I will say, up until Confessions on a Dance Floor and prior, it's probably all you need. All right, so when it comes to the record stuff, I have here continuing on with the band Wolf Alice. I know I showed, is it called Visions of a Dream? Oh, what kind of fan am I? But this is their newest album, Blue Weekend. Absolutely terrific. That this band, Wolf Alice, it's shoegaze, dreamscape, mixed with like rock, punk at times too. Like they just perfect that craft so well. And this album too, Blue Weekend by Wolf Alice, I absolutely love. And like I said, it's the most recent album. And then this one, I think it's their second. I forget. My Love is Cool, but a lot more of just the traditional dreamscape sounds to it. So if you dig that drama, don't sleep on Wolf Alice. Check them out. They're quite incredible. Gee, I gotta go back to speech. They're quite incredible when it comes to that type of drama. And like the first song on here, Turn to Dust, absolutely goosebumps. It's quite chilling. All right, so let's see here. Debbie Harry from Blondie, her solo route. Yes, she actually did solo albums. So this is her first album. I don't know why I keep holding it like this. I have all this space over here for this album to show these albums. So her first album as a solo is Cuckoo, though she was still in Blondie at this time, though, towards the tail end of things. As you can see, fuck me, how do you do this? Right here, a little hole punch. It kind of tells you all you need to know about this album when it came to critical success. This right here, but if this artwork looks familiar, it's by H.R. Geiger. He did a lot of the work for the concept of Alien, or at least his drawings and things of that nature helped inspire the movie Alien. So that's why it might look familiar, but this sound is very interesting. It is like early 80s, what would you even call it? Like experimental post-punk? Like it's the type of sound where like the more minimalist, like the better in terms of like this thought pattern. So, you get a song, you get vocals and maybe drums and like a little bit of a rhythm of a guitar, like that's it. It's like I don't know, if you've seen or like my Alice Cooper stuff, think Zipper Catches Skin, that type of sound where it's cold, very minimalist, like the essentials are there, but like that's it, that type of thing. So it makes for an interesting listen, but I still really dig it. I dig that sound and style. Her next album, Rockbird, I can't really tell you a whole lot because it's been like months since I've listened to this, but I do like it. The album cover is interesting, and then like the backside is just a mirror shot, so it's like, okay. But yeah, I for what it was, I do think I really liked it. But like I said, I can't tell you a whole lot because I spent many months and I've only listened to it a couple of times, but it was sold as a bulk from a seller on eBay. But then this album, don't mind the album cover. Yeah, the album cover is absolutely atrocious, but Deaf, Dumb, and Blonde, absolutely killer. I actually have it both on CD and vinyl, because this, it omits some tracks, whereas the CD, you know, it's like, oh, hey, we can put 15 tracks on here. So, you know, I will say that this has, you know, in terms of what's left off this, probably for the best. But still, the songs that are on the CD are still good. But man, you want to talk about like an unofficial Blondie album? This is it right here, Deaf, Dumb, and Blonde, because, you know, it's got a Mike Chapman as the producer who, you know, did Blondie and stuff, and I think you got a couple other folks in here from Blondie days. But yeah, like I said, this is like, you can just slap Blondie on here and nobody would know it. It's that type of record. It's so well done. I absolutely love it. Great stuff. So now we got a couple soundtracks. So Blade Runner 2049. I think this is a phenomenal sequel to the original Blade Runner. It really makes you think. It's absolutely hypnotizing. And obviously Vangelis, he's gone now, but oh my god, I'm blank. Hans Zimmer does the soundtrack for this album, and yeah, he absolutely does it justice. So, you know, Blade Runner, cyberpunk, new wave sound, that's what you're getting on here. Absolutely hit the ball out of the field. And now we have Star Wars for the show Andor. Kind of the same thing too, you know, kind of cyberpunk or new wave, you know, that type of electronica sound going on here. But this show, man, I tell you, this is like the best Star Wars probably ever. And it's that type of show to where it's such great television that you don't even have to be a fan of Star Wars to really appreciate and enjoy it. It's that type of thing. Just, you know, political thriller. If you love political thriller, fucking check this show out. Andor, like I said, you don't have to know jack shit about Star Wars. You don't have to love it. You could probably even hate Star Wars, but that type of show, like I said, that's some excellent television right there. All right, I simped out. Yes, your boy simped out, and you got the Sabrina Carpenter Short and Sweet album. I was going to school, you know, and when I guess in this album is coming out, and you hear the song Espresso like every 10 seconds, I'm like, man, what is this song? It's pretty catchy. I'm only able to make out a few words, but one of them is like Nintendo. So I'm probably the only person on the planet that does this. Like, I look up the radio station, and then I'm scrolling like, okay, I think this was the time that I heard it. It's like, oh, here it is. Oh, okay. And then that's when I discovered this album. It's like, wow, this is freaking fun right here. You just want some, you know, some energetic, danceable, is that a word? Just absolutely thrilling fun when it comes to pop. Definitely check this album out. Maybe something that you won't have your parents listening to, because there's a lot of sex stuff going on. But you know, it's very fun. I will say it is kind of funny when you gotta look up the album, and it's like, oh, you know, because some of the tracks talk about like relationship drama, and then I guess there's like a whole bunch of forums going over things. I'm like, man, I'm too old for this shit. You know, that's high school shit. You know, I'm just here for the music. Like, yeah, it's a good breakup song. It's a good song about your ex, or, you know, the person that took your ex, or all this stuff. That's fine. I can give two shits about the high school relationship drama, though. All right, this album, Dark Room by Ghostly Kisses. Yes, I found out about this album through a channel. I'm not going to remember the full name, but his name's Wyatt. He does reviews and like talking about death metal, extreme metal, that type of style, to where musically I can get fuck off. I like that. That's just not my cup of tea, man. That's for damn sure. But what I really love is that he just goes back to the basics. It's like, you know, simple, like I guess how you see right now, just simple sitting in front of the camera talking, simple edits, clean talking points. That's what gravitated me towards this channel. Even though I know absolutely nothing about the things he talks about, it's just something that I enjoy. It's like, okay, there's so many things on YouTube. It's just so over polished, over edited, over glamorized in terms of editing and style. It's just really nice to go back to like the old school basics. But he was talking about this album. Like I said, Ghostly Kisses, Dark Room, again, shoegaze, dreamscape with like an electronic synthwave element to it as well. Quite good. As you can see, a lot of the albums I did get are in that dreamscape shoegaze quality. All right, Patti Smith Group, Easter. I know she's not for everybody. So some people don't like her voice. And the whole poetry element, if you will, to her albums, where she kind of breaks down into like a hard rock poet, sort of rap, if you will. But man, I just really do enjoy her stuff. Obviously, you know her for the song Because the Night. Jesus Christ. Tells you all I need to know, right? But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I really do enjoy this song. Let me just go venture out. So yeah, I knew about things like Easter and shit, but once you were actually able to get it and listen to it, I'm like, wow, this is quite good. Your Space Monkey's awesome. Ghost Dance. 25th Floor, some really, really good stuff on here. And she's kind of an easy artist to get into because, she didn't really make a whole lot of albums, which is kind of surprising, since she's so profound and influential that, she really didn't make a whole lot of albums. But what's out there? It's quite good. Especially Horses, that album, Gloria. Oh boy. All right, this one, the final one that I got. Strawberry Switchblade. Probably wondering what the fuck is that? That's quite a name, I tell you. But as I mentioned earlier with the channel, his name's Wyatt. Yeah, the t-shirt of this. I was like, that looks cool. Let me go and investigate that. And yeah, this band, Strawberry Switchblade, I probably don't need to tell you. Mid-80s, new wave, think Duran Duran, that type of quality to it. One and done, this is the only album there, so maybe like a demo of some sorts. I believe they're from England. Really didn't, shine, we just kind of came and went. Their song Since Yesterday, I think kind of a minor hit depending on where you were. But you might notice this is from Japan, because even though that they were kind of one and done, they're one of those bands that absolutely killed it in Japan. So if you're looking for an album of this, like this, because that's all they have, 9 times out of 10, it's coming from Japan, because they just really made it big. But I think this album is awesome. Like I said, new wave, think like the Duran Duran quality to it, but there are a lot of catchy songs, some very haunting songs too, like Deep Water, Another Day, 10 James Orr Street. Here's the backside. And what's cool about the getting albums from other countries, it's just that you're able to get it in the language as well. So like inside with the lyric sheets, there's a lot of I don't know the name, I say Japanese characters, Japanese language, along with the English language as well. And there's a freaking massive poster in here. I won't be able to fit it on camera of the two singers. So yeah, it's interesting how things work out. The song Since Yesterday, I don't have social media, I never have, but I think it kind of popped off on like a TikTok video or something. That's what it seems to be the case. And, got some, current relevance, if you will, a sort of revitalization, if you will. Don't know how long that lasted, but it's interesting. You make a band, you come out with like one album, does great in another country. People forget about it for like the next 35 years, and then boom, all of a sudden, here's like one of their songs of yours, and now it's all over the internet and people love it. It's interesting how those things work. It's one of the few good things about the internet. But all right, guys, those are all the albums that I had today to show you. Hopefully you enjoy this. Thank you for the kind comments. I don't really know when I'm going to be back, because there is like a script that I'm working on, almost done. It's just something stupid that I've been working on. But in terms of like album reviews, look for that eventually. Sorry. All right. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and take care.